So, hi Libra, my name is Chris, and this is your January 2026 reading. Right, Celtic Cross, January 2026. And that's the first month of this wonderful 2026 year where the new frequencies are higher than the old frequencies. That's a general thing, right? For everybody, for all the signs, for everybody. Center of your Celtic Cross is the Knight of Cups, a new spiritual journey, something that you... Let's just see a little more context. 5 of Cups. So there is this energy from the past where you think, okay, a few cups got spilled, right? Looking back into the old circle, looking back into December or the entire year of 2025, or maybe even the last 7 years, right? So there were a few cups spilled, right? But you are on that horse, you took the cups that are still standing, and now you're going somewhere. And that's kind of emotional energy. So you're letting go of what no longer serves you emotionally, right? What you can't change, you just have to radically accept and then go for it, work with it, do something beautiful with it. And the foundation is the 4 of Swords in January. Meditation, breath work, that's what I always say. You can always do, well, I'm not a medical advisor or physician or doctor or whatever, right? But spirulina, chlorella, that's actually really nice. These are algae, is this the right word, you know? So supplements, right? But the most important thing, working with your consciousness, working with your mind through meditation and through breath work. So 1 in, 2 out, right? 5 seconds in, 10 seconds out. Whatever you can do, maybe you can do 10 in and 20 out, but it should always be twice as long for the out breaths than for the in breaths. So that's how you process things. That's how you heal. It's still a healing process here in January, but you are on your horse. You made a decision. Okay, emotionally, where do I want to go, right? So you're going for happiness, basically. That's the big new project in 2026. And there's the Page of Cups and, okay, all cups and swords, right? So everything is aligned, right? The universe is just offering you something, and you made the inner decision to just take what you got and go for it, right? And the universe comes from the outside offering you something maybe unexpected, maybe something that you haven't thought about, right? And maybe it's just an opportunity, maybe you just figure this out. The King of Wands in your past, so you already mastered your sexual energy, you already mastered your passion, right? King of Wands, did I say King of Cups? It's the King of Wands, right? King of Fire energy, passion, sexuality, but very much maturity, mastership. And now you're about to master the Cups energy, right? And the universe is making you an offer, and you're taking it, you're going for it. And there's, well, abundance and prosperity. Bang! That's the 10 of Pentacles, beautiful energy. So this healing aspect with the 5 of Cups, where you sometimes look back and think, wow, was that really all necessary, right? But you know what? You make your mistakes in life. Mistakes just happen. And there are things that happen to you that have absolutely nothing to do with you or your karma or anything of that, right? They're just random shit. You know, I don't believe in randomness, if that's a word. So ultimately everything is connected, but to an extent that the human consciousness is capable of recognizing or at least tuning into, I think we can safely say that there are things that are just out of our mind that are just beyond whatever we can understand, and they appear to us as random, right? So we might as well call it that. So what I want to say, that whatever happened to you, maybe it's not that you did anything wrong, maybe you did it too well. There's the King of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. Can we just... So you're taking this over from the universe. You're taking a spiritual path. You're doing something in which you are good in, right? That you like doing, and you're giving that more energy. And there's wealth, abundance, and prosperity. Cups energy in this combination is also very much about authenticity, right? So you're doing your meditation, you're grounding yourself, you're doing your breath work, and then you're just working. You're working with this healing aspect by just going into the next gear, going into the next chapter, not looking back into the past, whose fault was it, and you know what went wrong, and blah, blah. There's one poison cup that was stroked down, right? Fell down, whatever. So good riddance of that. 2 other cups fell down as well, right? That's the story of the 5 of cups, of course, right? 3 cups are down. 1 was poisoned. You're taking what is left and you're building something, and the universe is providing the rest of it. Wealth, abundance, and prosperity. 10 of Pentacles. You are the King of Pentacles, and you got there because you worked for it, right? And keep up the good work. That's the Knight of Pentacles, more Pentacles energy. So just keep doing what you're doing. You got the Knight of Pentacles and the, oh, that's a beautiful combination, and the Knight of Cups. So there's something that you're doing or have been doing, which is very practical, maybe pays the bills. Keep doing that. That's the Knight of Pentacles, and then there's something new that is part of your healing process, and there's so much potential for wealth, abundance, and prosperity, and for joy, right? Just joy and happiness while you're doing what you're doing. And if you can bring that together, there's this practical approach, Pentacles approach, pays the bills kind of approach, right? And this is very successful here with the King of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, that's for sure. So that's just, you know, that's pretty successful, right? Looks pretty successful to me. So maybe you have time to then bring back joy and happiness into what it is that you're doing. There's your releasing aspect. You got the 5 of Cups here. There's the 8 of Cups, releasing what no longer serves you. Trust in your capabilities. You can do this. You have done all sorts of crazy stuff, right? Yeah, let's just see. And there's the 7 of Swords guy. So the 7 of Swords guy can mean that you're disengaging from conflict. Disengaging from conflict, but it also means that you might meet people in January, but you're constantly meeting them. They're everywhere. They're just toxic people everywhere. But you got something going. You keep going with something that is successful here. 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, very practical, down to earth, pays the bills. And then there's this spiritual aspect that is a healing aspect. You know, it's kind of the wounded healer, you know, the wounded warrior, the wounded healer. So by healing yourself, you become kind of a healer yourself. So for other people as well, just by expressing your healing process, if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, I hope it does, because it kind of makes total sense to me. I hope I communicated that correctly, or kind of, you know, that you can understand it. There is the Judgment card. You're waking up to this. You're waking up to this, and you think, there's this wonderful movie by the Coen brothers, you know, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I can link it at the end, I think. You should watch that, right? That's just, you know, you just shrug your shoulders sometimes and you think, okay, that was effed up, right? But hey, there are 2 cups still standing, and let's just keep doing what you're doing and keeping those cups and making something out of it. And bang, the universe provides you a 10 of Pentacles and is super supportive. Just keep yourself grounded. Meditation, breath work, 1 in, 2 out. 1 in, 2 out. Very important. Yeah, and then comes along Mr. Mrs. 7 of Swords guy, right? With all sorts of, how do I say this? You're just not engaging in it, right? You're just not engaging in trauma. You're just not engaging in any kind of back and forth or whatever, you know? If something is, needs to be sorted out, you can do this step by step on your own terms, right? But you keep your boundaries and you say, okay, we can do this another time or whatever, whenever you're ready and prepared for it, right? So that's how you deal with that. And the other thing is just every attempt, that's also a 7 of Swords energy, right? Every attempt to trick you into guilt, fear, shame, or a frequency of who do you think you are, you know? This is one of these sentences or questions, right? Who do you think you are, right? I'm telling you, according to the cards that are on the table, right? I tell you who you think you are. And you think you are someone who has been through kind of some traumatization, whatever 5 of Cups that was here, right? In your past. And you've decided to pick yourself up. Take what is left and build something out of it, right? You're waking up to your possibilities and you're taking action, you're deciding, you're making a decision. Okay, there needs to be joy in it and there needs to be practicality, and I can do both, right? And that's your story, and you're super successful with this grounded in meditation, breathwork. And then somebody comes along and, are you sure? Who do you think you are? Are you sure? You know, and not to take that bait, right? Not to say, oh, now that she's saying it, I'm not, or whatever, right? No. And by the way, that's sword energy, right? 7 of Swords is kind of the mindfuck energy. Yeah. Maybe I should curse less, but it's so easy and beautiful to curse in a foreign language because it's not really, you know, it's not really, it's kind of secondary meaning, right? So it's not your own language. So you're not really, you know, when I say the F word or the S word or whatever, there's a distance to it if you say it in a different language. So keep that in mind. I'm not a native speaker and I try to curse a little bit less. Just a little bit, or at least I choose the opportunities in which I might do it as an artistic expression a little bit more careful, something like that, right? There is the 4 of Wands with the Page of Cups, beautiful energy. 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, in the foundation here with the 4 of Swords, there is some healing to do, right? And do not let anybody hijack your attention or your focus. You got something that you want to create, you got work to do most likely. There is some activity here, you're really passionate about this and you're creating it. And while you're doing this, in doing it yourself, that's kind of the healing process here. That's a powerful combination. So it's not just the King of Wands, it's also the King of Swords in combination in the past energy. So there's a lot of maturity, mastership. You got the King of Pentacles here as well. So 3 kings down here now. Yeah, what are you going to do? The question is, where do you want to go? There is a possibility for cooperation, but again, it's better to be alone than to be with bad people. But of course, the balancing act is basically to be open enough to meet new people because there are good people out there, and not close yourself off to these good people. But at the same time, not be naive about it and just be very careful who you let into your inner circle. That's all I'm saying. If you keep in your inner circle, so to speak, everything is just yay, fantastic, healing, successful. 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. You already are the King of Wands and the King of Swords. My God, right? So just let it heal, make peace with it. Whatever happened that you cannot change anymore, you're taking responsibility and creating your future by seizing the moment and just being here, and do what you can with what you've got wherever you are, right? Very successfully so. So as long as you do that, okay. As long as you do that and do not, there's the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck, by the way. Just eyes on the prize, right? Eyes on the prize, whatever you want to create, and do not look necessarily too much in the outside, or do not ask people for their opinion. Maybe, I think you know exactly what to do in January. You're very focused and you're super successful in it, and there's some card that wants to come out. The Orient Gate, number 33. Blue Angel Oracle deck, 33. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Service, the Orient Gate. What is more important, being of service to others or being of service to yourself? This is a reoccurring dilemma for you to reconcile. Know that service to others can only be sustained when you look after your own needs. You cannot honor life in the universe when you do not honor yourself. Acknowledge this great truth within, quietly within your loving heart. Okay, does it not make sense to you? Stand before the light of love and allow it to dissolve any lingering traces of guilt. If it is possible to be of service to humanity without sacrificing your own needs, all it requires is love, great love. Okay, so reading texts is still kind of effed up. I didn't curse, but I hinted to it. Service, right? The Orient Gate. Self-love, right? Being yourself a friend, you know? And I would recommend to just keep to whatever it is that you're doing, concentrate on your focus on your projects, and just go for it. And that's the best service you can do to others, if you just fully immerse yourself in your own creation, because that's what the 10 of Pentacles is. So do not ask for opinion, do not ask for permission. You have every right to do and to shine and to be the divine humble spark of the light that you are. And just freaking shine, right? And you don't need to ask anybody for permission, or, you know how to do it, and you're doing it. So just keep doing that and concentrate on that. So 3 quotes. Choose people that choose you. That kind of speaks about the inner circle that is totally sacred, and you should keep it super sacred in January. That's a long one. I'm not going to see. That's too complicated right now. This is a quote about the mind and the Buddha, and how consciousness and material, physical being is pretty much one emanation. This is, yeah, I think it's, I'm not going to say it wrong. So whatever, right? Choose your inner circle wisely. Choose your people wisely. A friend is someone who gives you complete freedom to be yourself. And bottom of the deck quote is, we are called to be architects of the future, not its victims. And that's the healing process. And you're healing yourself by becoming the architect of your future in the here and now, by just creating and doing your thing. And that's all I got. And I hope it resonates with you. And if it does, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. Now, goodbye, my friend. See you next time.